Let's start streaming. I think we're streaming.
Hey, welcome to the Generational Gap, folks. I'm Robert, your Gen X host, and then over here beside me I've got
John.
John. Hi, John.
Yeah, I am John, also from the Generational Gap. Imagine that.
But you're certainly not a Gen Xer.
No, certainly not.
You don't have what it takes to hold that
Yeah, the age.
title.
That's what I don't have.
Even if you had the age, you wouldn't
That's
be
all
a
it
Gen
takes.
Xer, you fucktard.
That's all it takes to be a Gen Xer.
When you're
the
50,
age.
are you going to be a Gen Xer? See, he
No,
doesn't
but
understand.
if I held the age now, I would be a Gen Xer.
Well, yeah, and then we wouldn't be
what
doing
I'm
this
saying.
show because we'd need a fucking millennial.
It's true.
Hey, folks, we're just coming at you tonight with a little bit of shit to talk about, I guess. We
Yeah.
already did our shooting the shit, so we'll talk about some real topics tonight.
Quite.
Hopefully, we'll pick up some listeners tonight, and if you don't mind, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Throw a comment our way. Let us know what you're thinking, what
Yeah.
you're feeling, and how much you want to add to the conversation. We like it when they talk back, right, John?
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Good talking back.
Also, you should you should put the chat out here for me.
I've got the
new
chat
one.
right here.
I've got the old one though. That's the old one.
Oh, is this the old chat? You don't
Yeah.
want the old chat? I
No.
like that old chat.
Is that like the old time rock and roll?
I like
you like that
to
old
get
time
called
chat?
out in that. That was a good call out on that one.
Which one?
Hey, you know what? The old chat's going to look exactly like the new chat.
Oh yeah. All right. Cool.
So I don't know what you're thinking, but you keep telling me, you know, you've left this in my hands, and then
Yeah. It's unfortunate, I guess.
it does wipe them with the new stream, though.
Yeah. See.
But it would have added too.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway.
Keep up, John.
Anyway.
It's technology. You should be on top of this.
No. I'm a Gen Xer in that way.
No, that's not true, because it seems to me that Gen Xers know more sometimes than
Sometimes.
millennials. Like, I mean, in the household I live in, I have another Gen Xer, and I've got two, well,
Gen Zs.
millennial Gen Z cusps. I guess they're both right on the brink of one and the other, you know. But yeah, nobody fucking knows shit about technology in this house but me.
That's funny.
That's not to toot my own horn, you know.
Yeah,
I picked it
'cause-
up when I was with the Navy SEALs, but
Right. Right. Yeah.
you know, I know 700 ways to fucking route your Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
and that's with my bare hands.
Oh shit. Oh man. Yeah, that was a reference to our last stream. Go watch it. Oh, apparently we're quiet.
We're quiet. We're trying to be quiet. We don't want any of the madness that was going on earlier. But I'll bump it up a little. How's
Yeah,
that? It'll give us a little
bump it
boost. But
up.
if we start to echo, it's you I will blame, because
right.
you brought the fucking wrench.
That's right. You did bring the wrench.
He's got the wrench right there. He keeps waving it in our face.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Fucking God.
But we're the faggots.
Right. Apparently.
Mhm.
Apparently we're the faggots.
We are. Hey, so that's Mo Betta. He's up in Jacksonville, right? Anyway,
Last I heard.
so we're going to talk a little bit tonight about some shit that's going on. I don't know if anybody's been sleeping under a fucking rock, but we have had a male bomber
Yeah.
going around. Well, he was potentially a male, but he was sending bombs in the mail to a lot of fucking people. The MAGABomber.
The MAGABomber.
Is it MAGA?
It's
Do we want to
MAGA.
go with MAGA? Or
It's MAGA. I
But
just
you
say
like
it
to
be a
say
dick.
MAGA
Yeah, just to be a dick.
because you're a fagga.
Yeah.
But we're going to touch on that. There's been some interesting responses to it as the stories unfolded. I think has been pretty relevant. Kind of gives an idea of where the state of this country is. And what was there something else we were going to talk about? Something happening in the world? No. We were going to talk about political voting.
Yeah.
There's a
Breaking
little
it down
experiment.
by demographics. So, like, what if only this set of people voted?
Right.
Well, how would it go if only this other
If
set?
only men voted, or
Yeah.
if only
women voted,
women
or
voted.
all this other
different
stuff.
things.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting. It's because I was looking at the results, and there were a couple of them that brought some pretty interesting questions to mind.
Yeah.
Make you stop and think for a minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got a little Halloween quiz. We're going to determine who John and I think is the badassest Halloween horror movie villain. Yeah, these are some bad guys. John, you've got somebody you're hoping comes in as a good contender.
I was never a big horror movie fan. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was just never really my thing.
But
yes, I know. I understand the contradiction that I'm wearing a Rob Zombie shirt and not a big fan of horror. Although his movies were pretty good.
Right?
House of House of a Thousand Corpses, which was actually a song. Actually, I think it was a whole album called The House of a Thousand Corpses from Rob Zombie. And he made that movie, and I believe he made Hostel as well.
See, and I think that's where we come in, because there are certain types you like, right, of horror movies if you're going to watch one.
Yeah, I'm more of a suspense thriller kind of guy, more than like a hack and slash, gory. It doesn't really do anything for me.
Yeah, so back in the early days of them, when you were getting your, the Friday the 13th and stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Where it was, back then, there was no CG really, right?
Right.
The coolest effect ever was in Friday the 13th Part 3, and it was supposed to be in 3D.
Right. But
they're making popcorn in one of the cabins, and they shoot the camera over the popcorn pan as the popcorn starts popping up. And that's their big major. And then a couple of pokes through the back of the head so an eyeball pops out. But it wasn't all like horrific killing like Saw. The Saw movies, the Hostel movies.
Yeah.
I can't watch them. I can't stomach that.
It's not that for me. It's just I can't, I just don't care. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't, thrill me. It doesn't.
What about stuff like The Ring or?
Yeah, see, I like The Ring. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I liked all the Paranormal Activity movies.
Awesome movies.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The paranormal, yes, Paranormal Activity was some shit.
It's like the Nickelback of horror movies. People either love them or they hate them. And that's it.
And it's the same exact reason why they love it and others hate it. The suspense.
Yeah.
I can't sit and watch that shit, is what they'll say. I can't sit there waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
While those of us who love it are like, I love sitting there waiting,
right.
Watching, hoping.
Trying to look around, trying to spot where it's going to come from or whatever, yeah.
And I think one of the best parts about that is that they actually had scenes that would just go by and nothing would fucking happen.
That was the best part.
How many times have you gone back and watched a scene and be like, I know I had to miss something, or they wouldn't have put this scene in here.
Right.
Oh, they did a good job with this. Now they got a little hokey as it went along.
Yeah.
A little.
They did. The quality did decline a bit.
I've got a disc that's got all 5 of them on it.
Nice. We should watch those sometime.
Yeah, there's a 5-pack disc.
But we don't really hang out that much unless we're doing this.
So. Yeah, well, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should do a special Halloween show.
Oh, we could. I can't do it on Wednesday, on actual Halloween, but we can do it next Friday.
No, we can't do a Halloween show after Halloween. That just makes us so lame.
Yeah, I guess it's fair.
There's not even a better word for it than lame. Put that fucking horse down.
Yeah, because I got an actual job and stuff, so I have to wake up early on Thursday. I'm not gonna get done till later on Wednesday.
An actual job. What does actual mean?
Well, it gives me money and allows me to buy things that I need.
John, you can just say job, and the implication is that you're getting paid. But when you say actual job, that's to imply that some people have jobs that aren't actually jobs.
Yeah.
But they get paid.
Right.
Like whores. You wish you were a whore.
Yeah. Wish I was a whore. That would be illegal though, and I don't condone doing illegal things.
Do the Halloween stream tonight, but we can't. It's not Halloween tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna touch on Halloween, but we're not gonna watch a movie. I was gonna suggest maybe doing a MST3K.
Yeah. That
kind
would be
of
fun.
thing with a movie. Maybe that could be our second stream of the week. That would be our niche thing.
Yeah, you want to do that like every week?
Dude, people, doing
No,
the
I know. I love that
MSTK3
show.
thing
Yeah.
was awesome, right?
Yeah.
So we could take good movies and do that shit with. Well, I guess we can't stream good ones. We got to get something that's public domain.
Yeah, old ones.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah. All right.
Can't
anyway.
have fun anymore. But anyway,
Let's
hey,
move on.
but first, there was one thing we were going to touch on. I haven't even. I've been horrible, and I haven't kept up with this as much as I should have.
Yeah, you suck.
For money, maybe, but
Yeah.
outside of that. So the Migrant Caravan, we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
There's some caravanning going on. This is an article that'll give us everything that we need to know about the thousands that are traveling north. An update. Last time we checked in with them, last week, they were in
the southern border of Mexico.
They had just come from Guatemala, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So they've been moving, and now they've doubled in size.
Yeah.
So we're looking at approximately 7,000 people. And other countries, as they've passed through, have been calling for adding into this thing.
Yeah.
And this is bad. Like, this is becoming a bad thing. 7,000 people?
It's a lot.
I mean, that's a little disturbing.
Yeah.
That it's really kind of all you need to call an army, right? How many men does it take to make an army?
Yeah, and well, your standard battalion is probably going to be about 1,500 people. And I believe 2 battalions makes a regiment. I'm not exactly sure
What
about
would be
the structure.
So it's equal force that you would be sending in, or overwhelming force, right?
Yeah.
Is normally what you would send in. So I mean, so there's a couple of battalions, a lot of fucking men,
Yeah.
right? That's
It's a lot of
$3,000
people.
you're dropping in somewhere.
Yep.
And if you're looking at 10-to-1 firepower, then
Well, you also have 2,300 children, so
well, yeah, but you
you're
can
dropping
arm
like
them. You give them
4,000.
coconuts; those kids will go crazy. Is that? I don't know. Is that how that works? How do you
Yeah,
get
I don't
kids to fight? Give them something they don't mind throwing. The Mexican government, though, has cited a different figure. What is that? 3,600 people, as opposed to 7,000. That it seems like a substantially different amount.
Yeah.
See, this is the way they word it. As many as 7,000 people have traveled with the caravan.
Yeah. There you go.
And this is that there's around 3,600 participants.
Right,
so
like active currently.
The size
Maybe.
hasn't grown. But we were seeing, I don't know if this article is going to talk about it, but there was another article that we had looked at that said that the Mexican government is offering work visas.
Nice.
To allow people to work coming through.
That's actually really good for them, though.
Yeah, but
because they need the workforce.
I don't, I would hate for this to sound the way that many people would take this, but isn't it kind of ironic?
Slightly, yeah. I would say it's ironic, yeah. But I think it's also a good move for them.
Or is that indicative of the monetary value of what they're coming from in the Honduras, that Mexico is a step up?
Yeah, maybe.
And if Mexico's a step up, then they've got it pretty fucking bad there.
Yeah, well, that's true. I'm not really sure about the whole situation in Honduras.
Well, the caravan is a mix of those who face grave danger in their country and intend to petition for asylum, and those fleeing poverty and unemployment. Now, the bigger problem I see there is, I get that they're coming here for asylum, and it's understandable. Okay, maybe you think we should just open the doors and let you come in.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You're refugees, or however you want to call it, migrants. But in case you haven't been watching, our unemployment is is declining. More people have jobs.
Yeah.
There's fewer jobs going to be available because they're being filled.
Yep.
We don't have room for 30. That's just 3,600 people alone requires that somebody needs to build reasonable sized manufacturing plant, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Huge manufacturing plant. 3,600 is a lot of people.
And we don't even have our immigration process down pat enough that we don't have a major backlog.
Yeah, I mean it is a long process for sure.
So I guess I would ask this question overall.
Yeah.
Is there nobody within this caravan that's actually thinking about this logically and believe that there's the possibility that they're going to be allowed to just cross into the United States if this is truly their destination?
I'm sure they've thought of it.
Yet they're still coming. Because I can't think of any real thought process that would walk me down a road to think that it would be possible.
Yeah.
At all. This is America in turbulent times fighting amongst itself about immigration.
Yeah.
And putting up walls.
Yeah. Well, apparently we're about to shut down the border too.
Right.
You know, so they're not. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they've heard about that.
Yeah.
You know,
how do you come to this decision that this is worth the time and effort? What do you prove?
Yeah.
I mean, if we could take in everybody from every country, that would be one thing.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea.
There's a few billion people around this world that would like a better shot than what they've got.
Yeah.
And we can't give it to all of them.
No. Certainly not.
I mean, I hate to say it, but, you know.
Yeah. Sorry, we're full.
I have a shirt in my drawer in there. I picked it up when I was on vacation.
Oh yeah.
And sure enough, it says "fuck off, we're full."
That's funny.
Over the outline of the United States, but it's true. We're full. We can't.
Yeah.
And I don't say we're full because we're max population. Sure, we could spread out. There's plenty of room for lots of people. However, we're full from the standpoint we can't handle our own shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't need to add more to it. And more people means more shit.
Right.
It is what it is. And I'm not saying it's bad, all bad shit. It's just we can't get a handle on our own shit. That's why we need to stop fucking around in other places. But, you know, my heart goes out to people who think that the best thing to do is walk thousands of miles to find something better.
Oh, yeah, hopefully the whole Mexico situation will work out for them.
I don't think Mexico could sustain it.
I mean, new businesses will pop up.
Well, as long as they're finding a better life there, then I guess more power to them. So hopefully they'll absorb the blow. They'll use it against us. They'll use it against Trump.
Well, no, I think it's a way.
Mexico solves the problem.
I think it's a way of them, because Trump was talking about we're gonna cut off trade with you, if you and all that shit. So I think it's a way for them to solve the problem by saying, well, we'll just take them in. That way they don't go to the United States and risk having our trade cut off. Like, it's their way of trying to, solve the problem. Keep everybody happy.
So they're still more than 20 miles from Tijuana. Or 2,000 miles from Tijuana, but it says they're progressing at about 20 miles a day. It's
not bad.
So that's still 100 days before they could even get to Tijuana at that rate.
Yeah.
I mean, they would. This isn't. I don't know that this could be considered a political move. Maybe
like an October surprise, as it were.
Yeah. Well, November.
Well.
For
the October.
That's what they've noticed. That's what this is saying, that they won't be able to reach before the November 6th elections.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Was the October surprise is something big that happens in October that and so it's not going to happen obviously in October.
Well, I guess the scare of it maybe is enough.
Yeah.
So again,
just the fact that it's getting attention.
I'm not saying Trump started it.
Yeah.
But he might have. Who knows? It's a valid conspiracy theory.
Sure. Yeah, Trump did it. Yeah, as we started that on our last stream.
The Hondurans love him.
Yeah.
Everybody
loves Trump. Come on. Everybody.
He's going to build a hotel there.
In Mexico?
Yeah. He promised all of them jobs.
Nice.
If they would just do this caravan thing for a few months.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I heard that like yesterday or something like that. Yeah. He was talking about that.
I think this guy's crazy. So anyway, there's a little bit of a caravan update. So it looks like we still got some time. It's going to be a while before any of the fun really happens here, but there's plenty of time to prepare for it. I mean, we could come real close to building a wall. I bet he could throw us a timetable that would fit within that 2,000-mile journey.
You think so?
Oh,
I don't think so.
He's Trump.
He might say that we'll be done by then. The art of the wall. I like it. The art of the wall.
So give us your opinion. Throw your comments out there. Like and subscribe. Do all that other fun stuff. Let us know what you think about this. Are you scared? Does it keep you up at night?
No.
Knowing they're coming? They're here.
No, we live in Florida. All of our Mexicans are Puerto Rican.
Wow. Oh, wow. You're trying to get us canceled already, aren't you? I love it.
Might as well.
You didn't like this very much, did you? All right, so going from that to other dangerous things happening in the country, the mail's getting dangerous again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We've got ourselves a package bomber. We'll call it. He's being called the MAGABomber.
The MAGABomber.
The MAGABomber. So
this
guy, making Florida great again. Just saying.
Yeah.
The
He's
Imfaga. He's the Imfaga.
The quintessential Florida man.
Imflaga. We'll call him Imflaga. Making Florida great again.
All right.
Imflaga. But anyway, so this guy, 12, 13. The last I heard was 12. What
the highest one I've seen was 13. Let's see. 13 bombs, something like that.
So they've arrested, suspect was arrested in the investigation of bombs sent to prominent Democrats and critics of President Trump. Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced Friday. The identified subject was Cesar Sayak.
Sayak? I don't know.
Sayak.
Yeah.
It's like Spock.
Swear.
But different.
Yeah.
Sayak was charged with 5 federal crimes, Sessions said during a nationally televised press conference. Sessions said had said Sayak faced up to 58 years in prison, but a Justice Department spokesperson later corrected the number to 48 years. And still, that's it?
Yeah.
But anyway, after 9/11, I would think that on terrorism we might be a little more lifey.
Yeah, well, he's going to disappear. When he gets to the prison, he'll disappear and show up in Guantanamo Bay. You watch.
Yeah, they don't need to waterboard him. They've got everything they need, apparently. He's older. It's 1962, so that adds up to what? 58 years already. He's 58 now.
Something like
right?
that. I think it was 56 is what thing said.
56, excuse me.
Yeah.
Did it say something about that?
Yeah, up at the top.
You were reading at the top?
Oh, no, wasn't there.
You probably did the math in your head so fast you didn't even realize it.
No, that's definitely not the case.
So he's from Broward County, Florida, where he has a criminal history already. One of the packages that he sent to Representative Maxine Waters had a print on it. And then there's possible DNA connection relating to one of his past arrests. So they've taken this guy's DNA before.
Yeah.
So that's disturbing.
They would have his fingerprint too, because he's been in jail before.
Well, that was the first one of the first hits, and now if they can tie the DNA, a fingerprint can be,
Yeah, but yeah,
it's just not hard enough, especially if it's not a full print.
Yeah.
Somebody stole half my thumb. Look.
Yeah.
So this guy was, I don't know. it's hard to peg down. But these are the people he was sending to: Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, John Brennan, former CIA director. That's that's tough shit right there. The former Attorney General Eric Holder, Maxine Waters, George Soros. He targeted a couple of billionaires in this too, which was interesting. Joe Biden, Robert De Niro. This was
why
interesting.
Robert De Niro?
Because Robert De Niro spoke out a little while back. Within the last 60 days, he was commenting on something. He stuck his 2 cents in, and so it was obviously enough to prompt a package. So you see Maxine Waters, the whole Robert De Niro, Maxine Waters. Some of their little bit of controversy kind of were
we know why
at the same time, right? So there's a time period here. He threw in Barack, Hillary, and Biden in as just extras, just like a backwards fuck you guys kind of thing, I think. But these other folks are, some of these folks have been pretty recent in the news with their opinions and their dislike of our presidential president.
Yeah, the God Emperor Trump.
Yes, that guy. So, but now the real issue here is, for me, is that I think that our president doesn't take it as seriously as he should. I don't know if that's the best way to put it.
Probably not.
His first opinion, he's kind of just been out there with, blaming this on the media. At first there was a little bit of finger pointing potentially at Democrats, trying to make themselves victims before the election. Yeah. Okay. But then when that falls through and it winds up being someone, there's indications that it might be someone from the right, and this person is arrested.
Everyone was quick to point the finger before any information came out, which is, of course, an idiotic way of doing things.
But then he still maintains this, I don't know, this kind of fuck you to the media when it goes on.
Hey, Robert, you have 69 notifications.
Yeah. I like to keep it that way. Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is, it was just, and I'm not going to go all, but it's just this kind of thing.
My God.
Funny how lowly rated CNN and others can criticize me at will, even blaming me for the current spate of bombs and ridiculously comparing this to September 11th and the Oklahoma City bombing. Yet when I criticize them, they go wild and scream, it's just not presidential.
Yeah.
Okay.
He should have said something like, it's not fair, or, he's a bully, or something like that. Something that got his point across more. The fact, the hypocrisy of, they can just trash on him all day, but as soon as he says something, oh, it's wrong, it's wrong. I think he could have worded it better, but that's what he's trying to say there.
But now, I will, in my opinion, CNN and other news media, and yes, they often go too far.
Oh, man.
Right?
Yeah.
But both sides, right? So let's not worry about that part. But when I've seen it from various angles that it's not about him, he's not specifically to blame. It's his impact on the present culture in this country.
Oh, yeah.
Where we're at as a country. The divisiveness and the anger and the frustration and the acting out is that's what they're accrediting to him.
Right. But do you think that's true?
Yes.
Do you think that, people like Maxine Waters, had nothing to do with it?
I think.
Or, Madonna. I think it was Madonna, right? Saying she wanted to blow up the White House.
I think
things like that.
Overall, that this country, especially today, is like a bunch of children. You right?
Oh no! I accidentally blew smoke into the microphone, so I know it made a loud for everyone.
Gotcha.
I try not to do that, but whatever. It didn't happen this time.
What was the question again?
Do you think Maxine Waters or any of the other...
We're like a bunch of kids. We in this country are like children in the aspect that, for the most part, what we see the parent do determines what we're going to do. So if he's more loose cannon and he does preach divisiveness, which he does, he is not partisan as all in politics, in my opinion. Everything is fuck the Democrats, shit on the Democrats, shit on the Democrats.
Yeah, because they do
not
that to
let's
him.
work together with the Democrats, right? He's not trying to reach across the divide like other presidents have.
It's because they're not interested in that.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
Being presidential is doing that. That come hell or high water, you reach across the aisle and you try and solve the divisiveness, not foment it. And when he does that, he does create an attitude among the children that they're going to imitate the parents.
So let me tell you what you would say if he was doing that and, you know, just taking it all from the Democrats. You'd be like, oh, he's showing weakness because, you know, he's just letting people shit all over him without responding. I mean, that's you know, that's exactly what you would say.
You have heard me give him props when he does something right.
When? I don't think I have.
You have.
When?
I've told you, if he does, well, let's see. He changed things for veterans. Now, some of it was good, some of it was bad, but the things that are helping veterans, okay, great. He has done things like that. He's made small moves. I do agree with him taking a harder stance with other countries, but he needs to do it diplomatically. I don't care if he takes a hard stance with the European nations. And there are times when it's just cause.
Oh, yeah.
But to insult them. So
That's his style,
I
though.
don't necessarily disagree with things that he does from a policy standpoint, but his ethics in how he does it is not agreeable.
I do agree that he does sometimes he just shut his mouth. Like, he does kind of, you know, go that one step too far. He'll say something pithy, and then he'll come again with another, you know, another hit. And so it's like, all right, well, the one was good enough, you know.
Right. And ultimately, you know, this is the kind of event. These bombs, this is not an event for you to get on your soapbox and preach against people and cause divisiveness. It's for you to stand up and tell us you're fucking protecting this country.
Yeah.
That's what you tell us. But then the feminists, there's a little bit of a feminist angle to it. What do they have to say? Sarah Huckabee Sanders thinks it's at least partly your fault if someone sends you a bomb. And why does she say that?
Oh, look, not being divisive.
Okay.
Yeah, look at that.
Unite against all political violence. Against all violence. But political violence, yes. If it's being done in the name of politics, absolutely.
And
we should all be united.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
And I'm glad he's saying it. Let's see if he follows through with that. You know, that's where he's got to reach across the aisle and unite this country.
Looks like he's trying to take the moral high ground on that.
Sure. On Thursday morning during an appearance on Fox and Friends, she doubled down on the interesting choice to blame CNN for the bomb that was sent to them. When asked about yet another unhinged tweet by Donald Trump in which he railed against the purposely false mainstream media that I refer to as fake news, Sanders had this to say. Certainly, the media has a role to play in this process. Sure. And certainly, the president is calling on everyone to come together. And if you have a problem with one another, let's voice that. But let's do so peacefully. And let's do that at the ballot box.
What are words? What do they mean anymore? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Fucking Jezebel.
Yeah, that's that one. They can leave. They can leave that. You notice I didn't read it.
Yeah, I know.
Did.
I wanted to make fun of it.
But, you know, I'm sorry.
What?
But don't fucking tell anybody it's their fault that they got a fucking bomb sent to them. I don't care who you do and don't like. You represent the fucking President's Office of the United States. Both of you need to address this like it's a serious fucking matter. And it doesn't matter what your political leanings are. Politics, not this obvious, get out and vote for Republicans because we can do that. Don't turn this into the fucking vote.
Well,
This is not about the vote. This is about domestic terrorism. He didn't like that it was compared to the Timothy McVeigh incident in Oklahoma City, and it is so much exactly like that.
Yeah.
It's domestic terrorism on a large scale.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, bring us together. It's
Yeah.
good that he says it, but show me. Let's pretend I'm from Missouri.
Yeah, from Missouri.
Missouri. That's the show me state.
Yeah.
Not like your favorite state.
The below me state?
No.
No.
Philadelphia.
That would be my favorite one.
Or was it, what is it, a city?
Philadelphia is a city.
City of brotherly love? Philadelphia?
Yeah, brotherly love. The one where they have a prison in their
City.
in their football stadium. They do.
What?
They actually have a function with like a working judge.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
They have a jail in Philadelphia at the Eagles Stadium. I don't know what the name of the stadium's called, but no. You can look it up. They have a jail with a working judge so that they can sentence you like right there. I mean, usually, you just kind of sit in the drunk tank for a couple hours and they send you home. But
so when but it's just a jail that happens to be attached to the.
No, it's part of the stadium because.
Why would they do that?
Because they fight so much during the football games that they arrest a bunch of people, and it's more efficient to have a jail in the stadium. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's true.
Talk about a convenience charge.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. I did not know that.
Yep.
That's
They
awesome.
sure do.
That is that's how you automate a process right there. Let's just cut the fucking middleman.
Hey, you have a right to a speedy trial.
Now, do they factor in that gas savings?
What, with like a fine or something?
Well, no. I mean, it's
or
like lower the
yeah.
lower the fine. Is it less of a fine because
no
they
idea.
don't spend the same amount of money on gas as
I
if
don't
they?
know.
I would think pass the savings on to the consumer.
Yeah, right.
They can buy more beer.
Yeah.
See, it's
And then they'll be
simple
right
stuff.
back. Yeah.
It's a loss
And
leader.
they'll be back in like an
It's a
hour or
loss
so.
leader.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
So let us know what you think about the MAGABomber, because
Well, I also want to say, so I've not verified it, but I've seen some places that, and I want to give a shout out to Styx Hexenhammer 666, another YouTuber who's really, really awesome. He predicted that when they found this guy, he was going to be having been Democrat most of his life, and then recently became Republican. And what I saw was that he was registered Democrat most of his life, then he switched to the Green Party, and then recently switched to Republican. And he's a huge Trump supporter. He's got the stickers all over his van. And Styx was saying that they would find, recently purchased MAGA hats and things like that to make it look like he was, a right-wing, like, nut job. But I think those stickers are in place of the MAGA hat, the stickers that were on the van, which I think we could show if you go back to that other article. They had the photo of the van. But, yeah, there it is. Yeah, so he's got all this, CNN sucks and pro-Trump and pro-Republican things. I don't know. Wait, is that that might be an American top team. No, that's not an American top team. No, that's something else.
But you notice, crosshairs. Everybody's in their sights.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little coincidental, don't you think?
Yeah, see, and it's this kind of thing that makes me stop and ask, is 48 years really enough for this kind of person?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he'll have like probation or something for life, or whatever. Or a lifetime of parole or some shit. where, you know, as soon as he fucks up once, he's in there for life. But I mean, he's also older, isn't he? So I mean, he's probably just gonna die in prison.
What if he makes a Second Amendment defense?
How?
Protecting us from a tyrannical government. Democrats are tyrannical, apparently.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So,
but
Second
obviously,
Amendment defense.
I don't think that's gonna work.
With a insanity plea fallback.
Yeah, well, not a fallback. You'd have to plead both, but I still don't think that would work.
How much could you get away with on that? What
I don't know,
how do you
it's
qualify a tyrannical government?
Yeah,
That's sufficient for force.
but even so, it wouldn't be legal to do it, right? The government's not just gonna stand back and let you, you know, let a bunch of people storm, you know, the White House or the Capitol building or, you know, the Pentagon or whatever.
Yeah, I understand they're not going to let you, but
so
I mean,
what I'm saying is
that's
obviously not going to hold up in court if, you know, a tyrannical government isn't going to let you do it. Then obviously they're not going to let you do it.
Any good lawyer would argue that tyranny.
I don't think any good lawyer would do that.
Tyranny is subjective.
Oh yeah.
So if tyranny is subjective, then my you know, the way that I interpret the Second Amendment is going to be a little different than you.
Yeah.
So that makes the entire Constitution more of a subjective
But so it doesn't
thing.
actually say though, and of course it's absolutely subjective. That's why we have a Supreme Court. But no, I mean that's why the Second Amendment doesn't say that you have a right to, you know, overthrow the government.
It doesn't say overthrow, but protect yourself.
But it doesn't say from the government. That's part of the idea,
tyranny.
Right? Well, yeah, but it says, if you want to pull it up, you can. But it's just those two sentences, right? You know, the state or the militia, well-regulated militia, the right of the citizens won't to bear arms won't be infringed or cannot be infringed. Yeah, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So it doesn't actually say anything in the Second Amendment about.
Then why do they use that?
Because it's the whole like the why it was implemented. So it's not actually in there, but that's part of the reason why it exists.
But this is one of the things that our Second Amendment activists out there lean on is that the Second Amendment gives you a right to protect yourself from a tyrannical government. But if it's not worded in there, it means dick.
Well, I mean, that's because they know obviously that, you know, a tyrannical government will not let you. Why do I say that word weird? Tyrannical. I don't know.
Tyrannical.
Yeah, I don't know. Tyrannical. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah. Oh, have you ever seen Tyranny and a T-Rex in the same room together? They might be the same thing.
I would think a T-Rex is kind of tyrannical. He likes his own space. He wants He wants to be the ruler.
Anyway.
But see, this right here. This, in my opinion, if we look at the Second Amendment, and it specifically says a well-regulated.
I know you like the whole well-regulated militia thing.
That implies a certain level of tyranny in and of itself.
Yeah, I'm not like a constitutional scholar or anything. You know, I mean, I've read it once or twice, but you know,
I'm just saying.
The whole well-regulated militia that's you and I. Like we are the militia.
Regulated.
Yeah, but we don't have a state-regulated militia, as far as I know.
Sure we do. It's called gun law.
Yeah, we have gun laws.
And and that's my thing, is like, I don't think really anybody has that much opinion on it. The NRA shouldn't have so much input on it. You know, if it's not about tyranny, if it's, you know, we're not worried about tyranny to read into that if it's not in there specifically.
I think we are.
Now, see, regulated meaning disciplined with a chain of command, right, which is going to come from your government. the militia would be run by the government.
Yeah, I mean, that was the original purpose of the militia.
Which then implies that the government should and easily be able to be the one that determines what guns you have available to use.
And they do.
But we have to fight lobby money to make things happen with that.
Well, yeah, because we don't need more laws than we already have. But we do have laws.
Depends on
about what kind of guns you can have.
Well regulated.
Well, yeah, that's pretty subjective, isn't it?
It can be. But anyway,
I think we are more than well regulated. That's my opinion on that.
But I will say this: I don't agree with the fact that that means you can send bombs in the mail.
Yeah, no, obviously it doesn't mean that.
I don't think that's a valid excuse for him to use. But if anyone ever argues tyranny based off the Second Amendment, I could see some dumbass trying to pull that along with a backup plea deal for insanity.
Yeah. Oh, regular means discipline. Yeah, the chain of command as opposed to a disorderly mob, not run by the government, but at least to be regulated by someone responsible. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's how militias were in the past. They weren't necessarily, they were permitted by the state, but they weren't like under the state's control. They just kind of had someone who was in charge, who had, military experience.
Sure.
And they also, a lot of the times, especially during the American Revolution, Washington and the other generals had a difficult time when they tried to cross borders. The militia from one state wouldn't usually go into the other state. So they would only fight in their own state. And so they had big problems with, not having enough troops once they went to a different state, once they crossed the border. It was a big issue.
But see, that's where our government, because if you think about it, a militia being called up, there's only a couple of scenarios there, right? Yeah. I mean, if a militia is called up, actually there's only one. The government is going to call up the militia. That's the intent. So you would be thinking something, the country's under attack.
Yeah.
If a militia is called up, not by the government, that's a revolution.
It depends. If we're being invaded.
Well, if we're being invaded,
then you're gonna have groups of people. Well, I'm saying you're gonna have groups of people that aren't necessarily under
the National Guard.
Well, yeah, I know.
That's why they're in place in every state.
Just regular civilians who are going to group up. Maybe 50, 60 people. In like a neighborhood or something.
Yeah, but you want it better organized than that. Because
well, yeah, of course, but that's what's going to happen.
That leads to chaos.
Yeah.
You can't guarantee you're going to have somebody just, Joe Blow is going to be, that Navy SEAL that knows how to, pull people together and use them as an army.
Yeah.
Right? It could be Joe Dickweed that's like, let's get all these people together and then let's go fucking loot them all.
Oh yeah, that'll happen too.
That's why you want a well-regulated militia and being run by someone who knows how to command, which is going to be our military, our police force.
I would be down with states having their own militias. I would be down with that.
Well, technically, we all do.
Well, I mean, the National Guard is still a federal, part of the Department of Defense.
But isn't that like the first step to sedition?
What, states having a militia?
That's why they
don't.
Militias.
Right, that's why they don't now.
Right.
Yeah. Ever since the Restoration era after the Civil War, states don't have militias anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do believe deep down that the intent of the Second Amendment is to be able to call upon the entire populace of the United States as a militia as needed. So please have weapons available, but we're in charge of this.
Right.
I've always gotten that sense.
Yeah.
Everything about the Constitution, while protecting freedoms, is still the government's in charge of it all.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of that did come from like the Revolutionary War, because they had, they didn't have I guess they kind of had their structure. They did have structure in the militia, but like the people were responsible for bringing their own weapons and their own, clothing and all their own, things, because they couldn't pay for them very much. And since owning a gun was illegal in a lot of parts because the British did, obviously for good reason, didn't want an armed populace, and so they would hide, their guns in hay bales and whatever random things. So when the British came around, they didn't find anything, and they made a promise to practice once a week at least, with their weapon to make sure they were proficient. And so yeah, I mean, I think that is a duty of being an American citizen, is to be proficient with firearms.
Yeah, but
just in case something like that does happen, at least you're half a shot, half a good shot.
You gotta be careful that it doesn't lead to spoiling the children, though. Oh, I'm sorry. Did the Mino man keep your guns away from you? Okay, now you can have all the guns you want.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Well, that was the case back then.
Yeah, it's the spoiled approach many people want to take now.
Well, there were cases of like, merchant ships and stuff saying like, hey, can we, arm our ships? And they're like, yeah, like, absolutely, please do. And that's the thing, is our Navy was made up a lot of merchant ships that were armed at that time, because we had like six frigates in the U.S. Navy when it got first started. That was it. 6 very small ships, and so the bulk of it was privateers and merchant ships that were, whatever it's called, where they, take your shit. What's that called? What word am I thinking of? God damn it.
Pirates?
No. With like the government, like, just takes your stuff. Says,
eminent domain.
Well, I guess
kind of like that.
Yeah, I guess. They
repossession.
I was thinking of a different word, but that's all right. Whatever. Let's move on. I'll think of it later, and I'll just shout it out randomly in the middle of another conversation. Yeah.
Hypochondria.
No.
Big brother. All right.
Commandeered.
There you go.
There we go. I got
FBI.
there.
They do. It's always the FBI in the movies.
Yeah.
Police and FBI. I'm commandeering this vehicle.
Yeah. It's like that, but with a ship and your entire livelihood.
And no paper trail.
Yeah. Requisition. That's another one. Yeah. It's pretty close to what I was thinking.
But, it does go back to this. Not only do I think that it needs to be regulated from the top, whoever's going to be in charge of the militia.
Yeah.
I think we have our own duty to self-regulate as well.
Well, yeah, that's...
I mean, do you really need 150 semi-automatic weapons?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah.
How many can you carry at once? No more than you can carry. How about that?
I don't know. Have you ever played Doom? You can hold like 12 guns on you, and they're each bigger than the last.
Okay. We're still working on that part where we separate reality from fantasy.
I don't understand.
Yeah, you will one day. Try and carry those 12 fucking weapons. Let's see if you can do it.
Well, no, but I mean, your kid needs a weapon. Your neighbor might not have, like your neighbor's wife might not have a gun. Neighbor's son might not have a gun. You got to be able to pass them out too. No one's saying you're carrying them all.
That you need an arsenal to supply those people. Okay, I can get it.
You're a militia.
Whatever.
So the answer to the question of how many guns does someone need is X plus 1. X being the amount of guns that you already own.
That is such NRA gossip.
Yeah, I know.
Bullshit.
Propaganda.
That choked me up a little, John.
Good.
All right, so I think it all falls to who you put in office then.
I know.
And who puts who in office?
Orange man bad.
Orange man bad.
Orange man racist.
So we have a little question on the board. So what would happen in this country if like only certain people voted? What would happen to us then? When them damn
come invading. Y'all better have a whole mess of guns. That's right.
Jesus. Did you invite Rufus?
Rufus?
Is that Rufus, your cousin from Arkansas?
No, his name is Clyde. Come on. Clyde. It's a good old boy name. Clyde.
All right, so I saw this article today, and I was kind of curious about it, and I wanted to look at the breakdowns of it about what this country would look like from a political standpoint if only certain groups were voting or allowed to vote. whether it be, say, men, women, whites, non-whites.
Yeah.
So, and this is this is an experiment that's been done before. This is on 538.com. I've seen this in various places where they kind of try and break it down, and basically they go by a history of how groups have voted in the past, right? The general leanings of a group. Because, of course, now, sadly, in our political climate, every group matters, not every citizen matters.
Right.
Because now it's about how are we going to get the Latino vote, the female vote, and
I mean, they've always been like that as long as I remember. It's always been demographics. Which makes sense that you would put statistics together when you're talking about an entire country. You want to go by demographic.
Yeah, I guess it's gotten more in your face now that they pander to certain groups. Now you see the pandering so much more.
Yeah.
And that's
more blatant, I think.
Yeah, it's
all the virtue signaling, sad. Really makes it come out to the forefront.
All right, so the groups that we're focused on were women, men, non-white voters, and white voters by educational level. And it was kind of interesting to see the results.
Yeah.
They looked at general ballot polls from October that have crosstabs and calculated how much group leaned toward one party on average. So the first scenario that we look at is if only women voted.
Yeah.
Now, John, you weren't too surprised to see this.
Not at all.
And I don't think many people will be. I think women tend to lean more Democratic, right? They're a lot more liberal in their mindset, but that's owing to let's throw the hot button word out there. It's owes to the patriarchy in this country up until the early 1900s when women got the vote. Really, women's suffrage moved women in a different direction, and then we had 1970s where we had ERA and the women's rights movement that really kicked in. So they've always, it's almost as if the mindset has evolved enough that from the fighting against that it became so much more liberal. Right. Yeah,
and it's also the propensity, I said that word right, of women to vote more emotionally rather than critically. So they're going to vote for the candidate that makes them feel better as opposed to what they're actually saying. I think that has a big part in it, and Democrats do speak very emotionally. When they give a speech or whatever, it's usually full of emotion, whereas Republicans don't as much. Not as much. Not that they don't, but just not as much, in my opinion.
How much do you think the pro-choice, pro-life debate factors into that?
Probably quite a bit. Probably quite a bit. Yeah, I would say that's a big issue that would make them want to vote more Democrat. But again, like we said before the show off mic, that in the southeast part of the United States, you have more traditional, women. I think and I think it shows here. And in the Bible Belt, you're going to see a lot more, red with the women only thing. And that's going to be because of one, the religious aspect. Big religious culture in the South, and they're also going to be more likely to, one, be married, and two, vote the way that their husband votes.
Right.
Which men, I think we saw with the men only one, they're going to lean more Republican.
Well, let's see. Let's take a look at what if only men voted.
Yeah, see, it's way on the red. And I think that has a lot to do with the blue-collar workers, who are generally going to vote right, whether they know what they're voting for or not. I think they're mostly going to vote right.
I'm curious, do you think that because of the, I'm going to go science here, anthropologically, men, hunters, protectors, does this not inherently, from an instinctual level, give most of us a base conservatism?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
That we might inherently lean that way.
And I think we're also more likely to follow like a strong leader, which you're gonna find, more strength in a Republican, candidate than you would in a Democratic one who's, all about fluffy feels.
Right. I guess Republicans speak more to male values.
Yeah.
Than Democrats do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting. I mean, this this Democratic leaning, for women.
Yeah.
I don't think that. Well, I'm not sure that 100 years ago that you would have seen the same thing, because we're still in that deeply patriarchal society. Before women got the vote,
when
the women were getting the vote, that a lot of women just shut up and said what their husbands told them to do.
Right.
So this probably would have been a lot more red. It would have probably been more like this.
Yeah.
Because most husbands would have had a wife that towed the party line, as it were.
Yeah.
Because that's what was expected.
Right.
So the evolution of feminism, the women's rights, the right to vote, has pushed them to a more liberal mindset, whereas it's, I could almost say that men are still mired in their instinctual drive to be conservative, to protect, to do these things, as a root to this. And then again, a Republican Party that speaks mostly to men's values, which is, I don't love that. I don't, I mean, again, it goes to me, speak to citizens' values. So if only college-educated white people voted, it's a little tighter race.
Pretty
here.
tight, yeah.
Now, this is overall. This is looking at, I love this. Saw more pronounced cleavage among white voters. So does that mean more women were voting?
Funny.
Based on educational levels. So college-educated whites shifted towards Democrats, and whites with a college degree moved further into the GOP camp. Now, here's the only issue I have with this, as far as getting a more accurate picture, is that this was not gender biased, only racial bias, right, and educational bias. So there's women and men at this.
Right, so white people voted,
it only makes sense from the previous two that we might have more of a balanced field here. And then when we go and look at the next slide, which is what if only white people without a college degree, and you'll notice that it swings even further to the right.
To the right, yeah.
Then college-educated swings to the left.
Yeah.
And I find that interesting. It's, it almost balances, like non-educated, non-college degreed. We can't assume that the bulk of those didn't complete high school. There's probably plenty of high school graduates out there, right?
Yeah.
But does that lack of education, so when we were talking about the balance of genders, does a lack of education forestall women from being more vocal about their political leanings, or more likely to acquiesce to the patriarchy in that opinion?
So, yeah, like I was saying, again, off mic, because we talked about this article slightly, with the non-college educated white people, the women there, I think, are more likely to vote right. And that's probably because, again, like I said, it's a tradition thing. Like your parents voted Republican, your grandparents voted Republican, so you're more likely to. So I think that's a big part of it. And like I said before, the religious aspect, Catholics usually vote right. a large amount of the Protestant flavors of Christianity typically vote right. So I think that has a big impact on it.
What if I were to put it out there that between these two specifically, college-educated white folks and college-educated white folks, the difference is women.
Could be.
More women go to college
Yes,
than men.
that's true. That's true.
So if you look at it from that standpoint, now
the college-educated one would drive it more towards the left because there's more women who are college-educated. Yeah, I can see that.
So, and then again, this goes back to that male mentality, leave high school, go straight to work, find a job, find a trade, provide.
Right.
Right?
When you knocked up your high school sweetheart at 16, you kind of got to get a job right away.
Sure.
And,
Sure. Men don't necessarily have to have college to go out and earn money.
Right.
We're men.
Yeah.
I can
do
go
shit
get a job.
jobs.
I can go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we need to. We just go learn how.
Yep.
Right. Or maybe we should have been taught. We had dads teaching us. For those that have dads at home, that kind of thing. I wonder if that's the indicative. I know that off mic we talked a little bit about the potential for it to. Part of it to be based on book smarts.
Yeah.
There's a definite difference in voting based off those that have had more.
So.
God, book smarts is the best way to put it, but I encompass that with a love of reading books of any kind, expanding vocabulary as we've looked at.
Yeah.
Expanding your communications abilities, your ability to absorb communication and education. Makes a difference in how you lean as well.
So the funny thing is, when I was in high school and afterwards, I read mostly fiction. I didn't read a hell of a lot of
mine as well.
Yeah, and I used to back in that time lean way more left. But then when I started reading philosophy in the past 2 years or so, I started moving gradually to the right. As we saw in our second episode when we did the political compass test, I'm now over the line into right-leaning libertarian instead of left-leaning, almost anarcho-libertarian. I was pretty close to the bottom of the graph.
Well, my opinion on that.
What's that?
That everybody becomes much more conservative as they age.
Yeah.
It's almost inevitable. And when you have kids, if you ever have them, you're gonna make a shift.
Yeah,
where
probably.
You're like, oh shit, buy a house.
Oh shit, more government.
Right,
More
buy a house and pay
now.
taxes on that shit every year. Right, support the schools, support the When you're doing that, it's like, okay, I have to take this a lot more seriously. Where is this money going? What's it doing? And that's
Yeah, no, I mean, I've seen that. Like I said, I've seen that in myself. Not just from reading, but just from, experiencing life, being out there making my own money and, having to pay my own bills and all that.
So now, here we go. What if only non-white people voted?
That's pretty blue.
Now, this is like quite literally the most telling slide. But
I'll bet you a lot of those red spots there are like native reservations and such. These are areas with a high native population. See, that's where the Seminoles are in Florida.
There are Native American populations in a lot of those areas. Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
see some
I'll
Oklahoma,
bet you
some Texas, some not Nevada, but what state is that?
New Mexico.
The square one.
New Mexico.
Is that New Mexico?
It is.
Yeah. So
Pretty sure. Yeah, that's New Mexico. That's Arizona next to it.
They're all the same shape at those in that area, so I get them confused. I don't get them confused with the Montanas and Wyoming.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of boxes over there because there's so much land that they're just like, fuck it, just draw a box.
Yeah, just head straight, and when you hit the border, drop a flag.
Yeah. When you hit the border.
There's some pretty fucked up shapes to our states. But anyway.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with like terrain in those areas and stuff. You know, if there's like a river, they'll have one side of the river's this, other side's that.
I'm a Wyoming faggot?
Or
you are?
No, I think we are both.
I said
no,
Montana.
he's saying Wyoming, comma, faggot.
Nebraska and Wyoming. I said the Dakotas and Montana.
Nebraska and Wyoming.
Oh
yeah, no, we were talking about.
Is that the states?
I thought we were talking about next to Texas, right?
Oh, well, what he's missing, maybe what he's not noticing, and the reason it's hard to tell what states the red is covering is because this is laid out by district lines. This is not state lines that you're seeing on the map. Those are district lines. So this is overlapping amongst states.
Gotcha.
But I do see a little bit of Nebraska. Like this is the cut line that you might see for Nebraska. This is we have an almost square state somewhere over here. But it's obvious that you're going to get this because I mean it's normal for I don't know. It's just almost stereotypical for minorities to vote Democratic.
Yeah, it is.
And that's, that one's not surprising.
Yeah.
Because...
that's what we were saying, Midget B. The red man lives there.
And they're supported by the government.
Largely.
In a sense, their casinos get all the, or... Everything that they have is handed to them by the government.
Do they get government subsidies for the casinos?
Oh, they get all sorts of shit.
But for casinos specifically, I wouldn't think that they would.
They're able to operate outside the federal government.
Right.
They're able. That's their land.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with how all that stuff works.
They don't have government oversight, but they can have that. So they can get monies to build the casinos and things like that. Yeah. There's a lot of guilt money that they'll throw around, especially the smaller the reservations get, because ultimately they're finding they're not self-sustainable like they could be.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with that about minorities, Midget, but when it's all said and done, it's not unexpected. It's, I mean, you're talking about every minority feels oppressed. That's why women swing that way as well. Every one of them is associated with some sort of American oppression.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but Democrats do the whole, oh, you're poor, so we're going to give you, welfare. And that's why they boost welfare programs to guarantee that, minority vote. Because unfortunately, they are more likely to be poor, right? And that is a sad thing.
Well, I see that more as socialist leanings than pandering for votes. I mean, I understand
it's a way of locking that vote down. Yeah,
right. But there's also a certain amount of obligation that's felt for those socialist programs that the government needs to do, and Democrats feel the burden of that obligation more so than Republicans.
And they're discouraged from voting Republican because Democrats tell them, oh, if you do that, they're going to take away. The welfare, they're going to take away your EBT, all that kind of stuff.
But, it's not surprising.
Not only that, but they call them racist and stuff all the time, Republicans are racist and stupid.
Oh. Yeah.
In before Democrats are the real racist.
And the sad thing is I know that there's just as many racist Republicans as there are racist Democrats. There really are.
Yeah,
it's just
racism.
That's where our media fucks with us.
Yeah, racism doesn't know any kind of bounds. Yeah. See, orange man bad, orange man racist. We got an NPC in the chat.
If maybe that's what they should do from now on. Is just if we're gonna do this, like if we're gonna call something out as racism. We're going to show these things in the media. This person did this to this white person, whatever, black person, Hispanic. Get everybody's political leanings while you're doing it. Are you Republican or Democrat? Are you Republican or Democrat? And we can nail it down.
Why don't we just say, what's your party affiliation? Because now we're not being inclusive.
Well,
to the third parties.
It's like Midget's pointing out. Ebony Magazine didn't include Republican congresswomen in an article they wrote. but there were 6 Republican women, but they were all black, which is is segregatory
but
in
they
a
weren't
sense.
thinking the right way, so they lost their black card, just like Kanye lost his black card. He's not allowed to be black anymore.
But this
He doesn't
right
think
here,
correctly.
this map, this projection is indicative of why a magazine like Ebony wouldn't tap those Republicans.
Yeah.
Because the largest constituency of their readers don't give a shit what Republicans have to say, whether they're successful black women or not. They'd rather hear from a successful Democratic white woman than they would a successful Republican black woman.
Yeah, like who was the shit? I think it was 2012. The Republican black guy that ran. Oh man, he was like he owned that pizza chain.
Oh.
Shit.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because he had a bunch of Godfather's pizzas, didn't he?
That was it. Yeah, it was Godfather's Pizzas, but I can't remember what the guy's name was. I feel like a dick.
Was he the one that was a doctor?
No, that's Ben Carson.
That
was
Ben
the more
Carson.
recent.
He
that was
wasn't.
in 2016.
He didn't do both.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget the. What was his name?
Googling Godfather's Pizza. Do we have one around us? Oh. Presidential candidate.
Herman Cain.
Herman Cain, that's right. That was the
Herman
dude.
Cain.
Yeah.
You liked him, huh?
I didn't necessarily because I was not into politics at the time, so I didn't really care.
He wasn't that into politics either.
Yeah, probably not. I know my dad liked him though. He was also a Ben Carson guy. He liked Ben Carson. He liked Carly Fiorina as well before she dropped out.
I don't know. We need some serious candidates.
Yeah.
But this is, so I don't know. Do you agree with these numbers? I don't agree that that's where they should stand, necessarily. Yeah. I do think, I kind of think that minorities need to be able to have a broader opinion, I wonder how many minorities actually toe the racial line.
What do you mean?
Well, if everybody in your household is African American and they're all staunch Democrats, it's kind of hard to be a Republican.
Yeah.
I think he was, Midget. I think Herman Cain was.
Was it Herman Cain was
publicly discredited, but so was Ben Carson.
Was he?
I guess. Well, what do we call him? Discredited.
I remember him as a blip on the radar until he was shamed. Yeah, I know he wasn't around too long.
Well, Ben Carson has even managed to almost shame himself out too.
Isn't Ben Carson in the current administration?
I think so. Well, he was, but I thought he let him go.
Maybe.
I'd have to look and see.
It's like a revolving door over there. There's no
what I
one
know
who's currently...
is that both of them proved why they shouldn't be involved in politics. Stick to what you know.
Yeah, make pizzas, man.
Right?
Do brain
just like
surgery.
Donald Trump should have. But
well, no, he makes the best taco bowls, though.
And that's what he should be doing.
He also makes the best books, and the best board games.
Makes books?
Makes
Does he have a publishing company?
I don't know, but he writes. He doesn't have a ghostwriter. Come on.
He doesn't write.
He writes. He's the best writer.
Is he?
No one knows writing like he does.
Nobody.
Believe him. And then you gotta do this shit.
Jesus would argue with that.
Jesus was a terrible writer. Have you read the Bible?
He wrote all that,
It's a jumble of
Didn't he write
bullshit.
all that?
Yeah, of course.
Or was that ghostwriters?
No. He wrote it, right?
That's what I thought.
He wrote it while riding in the back of a donkey, and the donkey could probably talk. Who was that? That was like Elijah or something. No, not Elijah. Forget who it was. That was
the donkey.
Yeah, it had the talking donkey. His ass talked. You never heard that story? It was like the angel was standing in his way, but only the donkey could see it, and he started beating the donkey because he wouldn't keep going. And then he killed the donkey, and then the donkey started talking. He was like, "Why would you do that? Haven't I always been good to you?"
Dominic the donkey.
Oh, that's a Christmas show.
Or Nestor, the long-eared Christmas donkey.
That's an awesome name.
Nestor is the one I remember. I do remember Dominic the donkey.
So, when you know Google stuff, you should put it on the stream so everyone can
I was
see.
just doing it for my own benefit. I don't want people to
God
see
damn
that
it.
I'm using Google.
What do you want to pretend to be, a Bing guy?
No, I want to pretend that I pull this shit out of my ass.
Oh,
and
that you just like
don't hear
remembered
the
it?
Keyboard.
Oh yeah, they're gonna hear the keyboard.
Let me have my denial.
No.
Dude, it's crazy how blue that last map is. It's really evocative.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's just insane how blue.
Yeah.
You know.
But I mean, it's, you know, it's the voice of the minorities.
It just shows the
always will be.
success of the Democratic Party to keep people, you know, in the dark, and how their ability to pander.
If it makes you feel any better, Midget, bear this in mind. It is a very small test sample that they're working with because, unfortunately, less minorities go out and hit the polls
Yeah,
than do white people.
that's true too.
They have shown this on a consistent basis,
Yeah,
and which is why they spend so much time pandering
Yeah.
out there for them.
I think we're going to see a lot of turnout for this one in 2020, because people have been, you know, really getting out there and, you know, being activists and saying, you know, go to the polls, go to the polls. You see it all over Twitter. But to be fair, I do follow David Hogg on Twitter, and that's all he ever talks about.
You
He's
just
like,
like a big hog.
that little twink? I don't think so.
You like a big hog.
He does not have a big hog, I
You like a
guarantee it.
big hog, John.
I guarantee he doesn't have
Like
a big hog.
All right, so let's lighten the mood a little bit and get off
Yeah.
of this political talk because remember, these are all hypothetical. These are just all, you know, this is an experiment. This is just looking at what, you know, if it was just one group. But we have all groups voting, and we all vote together, and we all work together to make a stronger America.
Yeah.
We don't look at party lines. We ignore those because we're tried and true Americans who understand that
Yeah.
only unity will make this country strong.
Only you can stop tyranny. What? They're like forest fires.
I was trying to think of a good name
I don't know.
instead of Smokey the Bear, but there's really nothing.
Apparently
underneath it.
538 sucks ass, according to Midget B.
Yeah, it's
Whatever.
just taken. Anybody could have put this together with just some statistics, right?
I don't
I
know.
mean, it's just numbers pulled out of historical data.
Maybe.
So they may suck ass.
They probably do.
And honestly, how long has it been since you had a good ass sucking?
It's true. It's been a while.
See, if you have to say it's been a while,
Yeah, I feel like my
it's
ass
time for
is.
a little 538.
I feel like my ass has been thoroughly sucked.
Good.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go to something fun and exciting.
Hooray, BuzzFeed!
Next week,
The best source for anything ever.
Hallows
BuzzFeed.
Eve.
Boo. Say boo?
I said boo.
Oh, you scared me.
Boo, bitch.
Don't do
How's
that.
that?
I get scared easily.
That's my Spice Girl Halloween. Boo, bitch.
Oh my God, Spice Girls.
I love the Spice Girls.
I used
wanna be
to like.
scary Spice
I used
and
to
like
actually
Rose.
like them when I was like 7 or 8.
I can see the lyrics bouncing through your eyes
Yeah.
right now.
If you wanna be my lover,
Don't ever do that again.
gotta get with my friends.
I think they maybe should have sent out one more box.
Something. Friendship never
No,
ends.
don't sit there and something.
I don't remember
All right,
all the
let's
lyrics.
find out.
Jesus.
It's time for the horror movie showdown. Find out who's the scariest villain of all.
Think
So, John, please make sure and answer honestly. I'm going to put you on the left. I'm going to be on the right. Oh, actually, yeah, that'll be fine.
that's fine. Whatever.
Should I split the screen?
Sure.
Are you excited by a split screen, John?
Yes, I love split
Here we go.
screens. They don't have that in video games anymore. Split
What?
screen multiplayer.
They don't love you like they used to.
Yeah, they just don't do that. Like you can't. I mean, you can still find games that do that, but it's very rare. They want everyone to have to buy a copy of the game instead of having to sleep over at your friend's house.
All right, since we're like this, you'll be on the right.
Yeah.
How's that? Does that sound good?
Makes more sense.
Can you handle it? You're on the right.
Yeah.
Stands to reason.
See, there
can
you
I
go.
put
See,
him in the corner?
See, Midget B is right.
Can I put
Never
him in
put
the
John
corner?
on the left.
Wait, would you prefer to be left leaning than right leaning?
I prefer to be where I am. Because wherever I am
John,
is the
don't
most
dodge
correct.
the fucking question like a goddamn politician.
Wherever I am is the most correct place to be. I think we can all agree on that.
Wherever you're at, there you are.
Yeah, right there.
All right. So, John, we've got our first two villains up. In this matchup, we have, are you ready for it?
Yeah.
I've got Michael Myers and the Ghostface from Scream, who is still getting a lot of attention in fucking Halloween stores for years, man. That mask never goes away.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
It's
John,
a good mask,
which one of
though.
these guys do you... Huh?
It's a good mask, though.
Yeah. It's not a bad one.
I used
don't
to
love
have
the
one-
iteration that has the blood that flows.
I was going to say that because I had that when I was like 13 or 14. Like the last time I was able to go out, we went trick or treating, ironically, but we really just wanted like candy and stuff. But
Right.
yeah, we went ironically, and I had one of those where you push little. It's like a heart that you hold in your hand and you squeeze it, like that.
Yeah.
And then blood goes all down the face. It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool. Anyway,
For a 13-year-old.
well, yeah.
So, John, which one of these two would you really hate to be left alone with?
I think I'm gonna go with Michael Myers, because he's like dead and stuff, and Ghostface was like just like a dude. So like I think I have a better chance at defeating a dude than I do defeating some supernatural badass.
I'm going to have to go with you on this one and say Michael Myers as well. The only problem I have with Michael Myers is currently the mask looks like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the original white mask. That was freaky as fuck with his hair.
Yeah.
And it was freaky as fuck. But I got to give Michael Myers the nod on that one as well.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Who's scarier? Ghostly Samara from The Ring or beady-eyed Annabelle? Now, beady-eyed Annabelle was from Chucky?
Chucky's bride, right?
Is that Bride? That's Chucky's bride, isn't it?
Or it might be its own movie. I honestly am not familiar, but it looks like a doll, and I am not afraid of dolls. I can kick the shit out of any doll.
They don't freak you out?
No, I could beat the shit out of any doll that was in front of me. You could put 50 of them in front of me. I'll kick the shit out of all of them. But Samara, that's a scary bitch right there. Fuck that. She's way scarier.
So I'm going to say your vote is Samara.
Yeah.
I have to say, I've never seen The Ring.
Oh, really? That's a good
I've
one.
only watched the original Chucky, Child's Play.
Yeah.
Or what was it?
I think it was Child's Play. No, I think that was
Not
Chucky
Child-
2. And then
What was the
I don't
first
remember.
one called?
I think it was just Chucky, right?
No.
I honestly don't know.
But I've never really looked. But now, just from a freakiness factor, I forget what the show was. When I was a kid, watched a show, and it would be all these macabre stories. And one of them, this woman gets a voodoo doll. It's kind of like a Twilight show or something like that. But she got this voodoo doll as a gift, and it had a little necklace on it. And if the necklace came off, the little fucking doll came to life. And I say voodoo doll. It wasn't voodoo. No, it was from like Africa, like one of those kind of little. But he's this little freaky looking little brown wood doll, and he had these little sharp white teeth. And the necklace came off of it.
Yeah.
And so that little fucking doll, like, terrified her in her house.
Yeah.
So I've kind of got a, for dolls,
So
the whole doll thing.
Samara will crawl out of the TV and come into your living room soaking wet, which is very rude, by the way, getting water all over the carpet, and then she'll fuck you up.
Poltergeist, what?
Yeah. Poltergeist was alright. It was a pretty good movie. I
But-
like that movie.
I will have to go with Samara from the simple fact that the Chucky movies were completely cheesy.
Oh, well,
in my
yeah. I mean, a
opinion.
lot of horror movies back then were they weren't like high budget movies like they are
Cheesy
now.
doesn't scare me.
Yeah, not really.
So, now, who gives the worst nightmare material? Stephen King's It or Babadook? Now, I'm going to have to go ahead and, again, plead ignorance on Babadook.
I do too. I'm not familiar.
So we're
do we
going
want
to
to
have
do a
to
quick Google search, find out what a Babadook is?
We're going to have to do one of those godforsaken Google searches.
Oh no. Babadook.
Okay, so
Yeah, let's put that on the stream.
Carrie argues that what Babadook stands for is up for debate, but writes the malevolent Babadook is basically a physicalized form of the mother's trauma. What?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
What mother? From what movie? Is there?
Yeah, is there a movie? What the fuck is this shit? It must be called The Babadook. Is that like a boogeyman?
Let's get scared.
Oh, it's scary. So scary. Oh man, I hope we don't get copyright. If you copyright us, I'm gonna kill you. That's creepy.
Okay, so he's the boogeyman.
He's the boogeyman. I'm gonna have to go with Stephen King's It.
Did you ever read the book?
I did. It was excellent.
Freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah, it was really fucking terrifying.
He kind of gave me nightmares.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go with It.
I always wound up. It just never seemed to fail. I would always be reading Stephen King books while it was dark outside.
Of course.
That's just fucked up. Well, it's old stuff. Okay.
The biggest question ever.
What about A Nightmare on Elm Street's Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th?
I don't know, man. That's... Ooh. That's a tough one. I don't know. I'm probably going to go with Jason on that one.
I gotta say, Jason makes more sense from a terror aspect.
Yeah, I think so.
Freddy Krueger's smart-ass attitude.
Yeah, you'll just be laughing. You'll be like, "Oh, dude, that was a good one." No,
maybe
I'm just
not
kidding.
laughing, but you're not terror. You're more inclined to fight back with somebody who's an asshole
Yeah.
than somebody who's just scary.
Who just pops up from underneath a dock or through a dock and fucks you up.
Yeah. How many times do you have to come up from the bottom of a fucking lake?
Yeah.
And just kill wholesale through a fucking camp? Yeah, I take that shit seriously.
Yeah.
A lot more seriously than I do having to get together the Dream Warriors to go after Freddy Krueger.
Right.
All right. Which murderous mastermind gives you the creeps the most? American Psycho's Patrick Bateman or Esther from Orphan?
Ooh. So, I think I'm going to go with American Psycho's Patrick Bateman.
I have to disagree with you there, only from the standpoint that, while, yeah, it's creepy to think about a fucking whack job in your daily life.
I think that's more likely, too. And plus...
when it comes from a child, that's fucking creepy as shit.
I'm going to use the same argument I use with dolls. I can kick the shit out of any child.
But...
No.
No. Children are fucking freaky when they're scary.
Yeah.
All right, what about the deadly bride in black from Insidious and Bathsheba Sherman, the devil-worshipping witch from The Conjuring?
To be honest, I've seen neither of those movies. So just judging off of looks, I'm going to have to go with the devil-worshipping witch from The Conjuring.
I haven't seen either one of these either.
Yeah, we suck.
I heard The Conjuring was some badass shit, but, you know, that might have just come from somebody who got scared easily.
Maybe.
But the Insidious... Is that the... Wait,
Insidious.
is that a video game?
I'm pretty sure it's a movie.
Why do I want to say that was a video game as well?
It might be.
So who did you go with? Conjuring?
Conjuring, yeah.
Yeah, plus she's just got a fucking scary name, Bathsheba.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
never
like
a
it.
good name.
Yeah.
All right, who do we have next? Have we got anything else? Which pint-sized murderer is the most deadly? Chucky from Child Play or Saw's Billy the Puppet?
Yep.
Now, of course, yeah.
You already know how I feel about this, though. It's another doll one. And I can kick the shit out of any doll.
Right, but they're both dolls, so you gotta just...
Yeah, but...
Which is the most deadly?
Yeah, so... the most deadly? Well, the puppet himself is just that. He's a puppet, right? So the actual guy... Can't remember his name. You know, was the one who was doing all the murderous shit.
In Saw?
Yeah.
Versus the actual fucking doll being alive and killing.
Right, but I think that, you know, so picture yourself in a disgusting shower/bathroom thing, chained up, you know, to a pipe. There's another dude across the room, and then suddenly the TV turns on, and Billy the puppet is sitting there, and says, "Do you want to play a game?" That's pretty scary.
Yeah, but it's, like you said, it's not the doll that's killing you. But that fucking doll, Chucky, that little bitch is alive. He'll cut your ass.
Yeah, but I think that the puppet symbolizes more death, especially because you're doing it to yourself, that it adds that extra layer of horror.
Chucky kills everything he comes in contact with.
Yeah, but he doesn't make you kill yourself or harm yourself in some way to survive. Like Saw.
But there's a man behind the doll here. So he's really the deadly one. He's just using the doll as
a prop, yeah.
Yeah. Chucky's not a prop.
So if
Chucky's the real fucking deal.
The question is which one is most deadly? But I'm still going to go with Billy the Puppet.
Yeah, you're partial.
Yeah. I've actually seen Saw more recently as well. I have a feeling this
next question, I already know how I'm going to answer.
All right.
What about the worst devil child? Damien the Antichrist or Reagan from The Exorcist?
That's an easy one. The Exorcist.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The worst devil child. Now, let me go ahead and give you just... Have you seen
The Omen. I've seen the original.
He is the Antichrist.
Yeah. Antichrist
you can't get any more devil child than that.
He's not that bad.
He's the fucking Antichrist. Did you watch that movie?
I did.
It scared the bejesus out of me.
The Exorcist scared the fuck out of me, so fuck you.
All three.
I've only seen the original first one. I've never
There was
saw
the
Omen,
new one. There was Damien Omen 2, and then there was the final conflict where he grew up all the way through that, and there's some scary fucking shit. You said you were raised Catholic? It gets really fucking scary.
You know what's a really good movie that Catholics would enjoy as a horror movie? The Devil Inside. It's really, really good. You see that one?
Wait, The Devil and Miss Jones?
No, The Devil Inside. Yeah. It's like one of those found footage films. And it follows a woman who, when she was very young, her mother was possessed. And she, they go through like her exorcism, and it didn't work. And so she was taken to like an insane asylum in the Vatican. And so the movie picks up where she's older, she's an adult, and she's going to visit her mother in the Vatican. And when she does, the possession gets passed on to her. And then so things start happening to her and to the people around her. Like she was staying with two priests, and one of them got possessed, and stuff happened.
And this was in what again?
The Devil Inside.
Oh, The Devil Inside.
Yeah, it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I just saw the porn.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was a good one too.
Devil and Miss Jones or something like that. All right, so you think that The Exorcist Child is more evil?
Yeah, for me at least.
I don't think we saw the same Omen.
Maybe not.
That's some
I don't know. BuzzFeed seems to tend to agree with me.
Wait, which Exorcist was that? The original Exorcist or a remake?
The original. I don't know if that picture was from the original, but I'm talking about the original Exorcist.
There's a difference between a possessed girl and a kid that's got a fucking 666 tattooed on his head from birth.
Oh, so he was an edgy kid. Oh my god. Alright, Night Midget B. See you next time.
Peace out. All right. Whose mutilated face keeps you up at night? Hellraiser's Pinhead or Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Pinhead freaks me out more.
See, I don't know. I think he's just goofy looking, I gotta go with Leatherface. Because that's actually fucking horrifying.
Yeah, but Leatherface he's freaky looking, but, you know, it's just the mind fuck that comes from Pinhead.
Yeah. But I mean, it's whose mutilated face, right? Keeps you up at night, so.
And finally, who's the most evil, twisted villain of them all?
That's a good one.
Evil, twisted villain. Now, see, that was a tough one for me because I really don't see much more evil and twisted than this little fucker.
Yeah.
When he starts killing folks off.
I'm thinking I have to go with It.
He was pretty evil.
Yeah, and twisted. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with It. Did you see the new It? Did you see the new one? The new It movie came out like last year.
Wow. And he's carrying the lead.
Yeah, he's fucking horrifying, dude. What do you want?
Wow. See, this is how much people believe in religion.
Yeah, see,
anymore.
Damien's all over the hell down
scary
there.
to people anymore.
Yeah.
That's how you can tell the difference in religion these days, right there, John.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to say, it's pretty fucking scary.
Yep.
Damien only got 130 votes. Poor kid.
Yeah.
But he's old school horror.
Yeah.
You know, that was more mindfuck. I bet you fewer people have seen that than most of these other movies.
Probably.
They need to remake that.
They did.
Just as well as they did.
They did remake it.
No.
Not like very recently, probably like in the past 10 years.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, there is one. A new one.
All right, who keeps you up at night, folks? Let us know. And, you know, throw it in the comments. Hey, if you like what you're hearing, why don't you like? Click that like button.
Click it.
Subscribe. Click that subscribe button. We like it when you click on things.
Yeah.
It makes us feel good. Hey, Halloween's coming, so those of you out there that have children, please be safe out there with your kids. Check the candy. Check the people that they're dealing with. Just keep an eye on things. You know, it's a crazy world out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know when you're going to open up your mail and there's going to be a bomb in it.
It's true.
You know, so there's no telling what can happen to a caramel apple. But anyway, so John, thanks for hanging out. And, you know,
always.
Keep an eye on Twitter. See what's going on there. Watch for John, folks. He's on Twitter a lot, talking a bunch of shit that nobody wants to hear anyway.
We're at the Gin Gap P. Come follow us.
Is that where we are?
That's our Twitter
Gin
handle.
Gap
The Gin
P.
Gap P.
All right, folks. This is a generational gap. We appreciate you watching. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Peace out.